Health officials in Saratoga County are alerting us to a low-risk exposure at the Department of Motor Vehicles office in Clifton Park. Anyone who visited that office between November 9th and today should monitor for symptoms. The office is closed until further notice. And Waterville East City Hall will be closed to the public until further notice in response to the rise in cases. City services will only be available over the phone or by appointment.
A recipe for disaster. That's how some nurses at Albany Medical Center described the hospital's staffing levels and PPE supplies. So they're planning to go on strike December 1st. Hospital leadership says they're following CDC guidelines and patient care will not be interrupted if nurses strike. Jill Konopka reports.
A pandemic is not a time for understaffing or cutting corners.
Albany Med nurses promised to strike December 1st. In protest, they say of compromised patient care, PPE concerns, and ongoing failed contract negotiations.
We are experiencing the worst turnover of nurses and support staff in Albany Med's history. This, in addition to the lack of appropriate PPE, has led to unsafe working conditions that put all of us at risk.
During this pandemic, when our community needed us the most, we have been at our best. And yet, while we have cared for this region during the pandemic, NYSNA has exploited the pandemic.
Hospital leadership calls nurses an important part of their mission, adding they've been negotiating in good faith a contract with the nurses union since 2018.
Our 2,000 nurses are critical partners in our mission.
But they're prepared for the protest as infection rates rise and want patients to keep appointments, promising no interruptions if a strike takes place.
We would prefer to have our own nurses at the bedside caring for patients. However, we are legally permitted to hire temporary nurses, and we have made arrangements to do so.
We strongly encourage our community, our patients, not to delay care on the day of the strike.
Patients like Greg Secor describe what his nurses mean to him.
It's very unfortunate that they have to go ahead and strike. They are very important to everyone at this hospital.
Jill Konopka, News Channel 13.